there's no way to prove that, Adam, Eve, David, Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, all those Old Testament figures, those major ones, David, Solomon, and those minor ones like what's his name, Joshua and Amos and all those people, Daniel. There's no way to prove those people existed, or were they real people but put in fictional stories?
Well, it could be the latter, and with later characters like some of the kings of Israel, like Jehoshaphat and Ahaz and Omri, another version of the name Omar, interestingly. These guys do seem to have existed, and they did have a kingdom called Israel. There are extra biblical monuments that show that, but these great heroes and culture heroes and founders and all that, the problem is that if you take away the temple, what have you got left to say about Solomon? He's the great builder and all of that. If there weren't even enough people in the southern area to have a kingdom, what happens to the story of David doing a census to see how many military men he can have? It just presupposes a much later anachronistic setting. So some will try to distill some vestige and say, well, maybe there was some sort of a bandit chief that David was based on, which is exactly what they do with King Arthur. They say, well, maybe in the 6th century there was a Romano-British war chief named Arthur. Not that there's any real reason to think so. They're just saying it's like there must have been a Clark Kent. It's as Niels Peter Lemke says, these are just rationalizing paraphrases. They're trying to just give you a cloudy view of the story and get rid of all the stuff that is obviously mythic and say, well, maybe the rest of it's true. There's just no reason to do that. Any document, as David Friedrich Strauss said, is as reliable as its most unreliable feature. That if it's saying this kind of crazy thing, forget it. Whatever else it says incidentally is not to be taken seriously either.
Oh, okay, because Islam doesn't accept the Bible anyway, so I don't have any problems criticizing the Bible.
What about the people of the book thing, and that Jesus brought the Injil, David, the Psalms, and so on?
According to Islam, Jesus brought the Gospel, not the New Testament. But the Gospel is not the New Testament. The Gospel is some kind of revelation given to Jesus, not necessarily written, not necessarily a written form, but maybe like an oral message or something like that. So that's the Gospel of Jesus, but the Gospel of Jesus is not the New Testament Gospels, because the New Testament came, even the most conservative Christian apologists would say the New Testament came after Jesus. People wrote down the New Testament. It just didn't fall out of the sky or whatever. Same thing with the Old Testament, same thing with the Torah. There was a Torah revealed to Moses. It wasn't written about Moses. Same thing with the Injil or the Gospel. It was Injil. It was a Gospel revealed to Jesus, not written about him.
Okay.
So Islam kind of has a different view on the Bible.